Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about The Woods All Black by Lee Mandelo. This is the third Lee Mandelo book that we have covered on Bar Cart Bookshelf, a favorite author for us. We love the intersection of Kentucky authorship and Southern writing with speculative fiction and really sharp academic queerness and a deep desire for and understanding of bodies. And The Woods All Black is no exception to the very high standard that Mandelo set with Summer Sons and Feed Them Silence. The Woods All Black is a historical horror novella, a very slim volume, but with a lot packed in there, set in the back hills of Kentucky, around the Hazard area, if you're familiar with the Commonwealth, out in eastern Kentucky and in the mountains. And it's the story of Leslie Bruin, who is a member of the Frontier Nursing Service, who arrives in a small town, Spar Creek, to deliver vaccinations, to help with medical needs, including maternal care and medical care in general. He was a nurse during the First World War, the Great War, and brings that experience as both a medical professional, but also as someone who has lived in the more sexually and sexologically understanding and advanced societies of Europe in the early 20th century. Leslie is an invert, this sort of model of queerness that brings together gender and sexual desire in a really sort of cohesive way, and in a way that's hard to parse for the people of Spar Creek, who regrettably are in the throes of a very conservative religious revival. And Leslie finds himself at that particular horror confluence of being exactly the right person to bring perspective to this community and to address the sort of needs of characters here, and also the deep personal danger of being someone who is gender nonconforming and who gets read by the people of the town as female despite his maleness. And so we see from there this creeping danger of the community upon Leslie and upon another young man, Stevie Mattingly, who is also sort of coming to understand his maleness, who he is in the world, and how he wants to express his self and his desires. And on top of that, we have horror being inflicted upon the people of Spar Creek, this wonderful balance of being both the recipient of violence and horror, and then having the power in the hills and in the caves and in the woods to turn that fear back upon the people who at every opportunity have the chance to turn away, to be more open and accepting and just sort of generally good about their community, even in ways they don't understand. And this is something that happens, many times in rural communities. To have that be lost and to have that be something that is fought for, it's really a thoughtful and a truly delicious novella. Dark, bloody, it's interested in bodies of all sorts, of transformation of bodies into monstrous figures and into desirable figures. For a slim novella, there is really a lot of on-page sex, for a really sort of thoughtful and engaging exploration of what it is to choose what you want in the world and to understand yourself through the exploration of another. Just very sharp and harsh and angry and smart in all the ways that Mandelo's work is. And so, of course, we had to have a drink inspired by it. I've been talking and talking. I'm going to be talking and talking more tonight. If you are in the Louisville area, be sure to come to Carmichael's bookstore at Frankfort Avenue. I will be in conversation with Lee Mandelo about the book, and we'll be sipping on our cocktail. Our cocktail today is the Spar Creek, named for the town that Leslie comes to minister his medical arts to. And as is often the case with our Kentucky books, we're starting off with some bourbon, some good old sipping whiskey, and we are going to get a large ice cube down into the bottom of our old-fashioned glass here. This is going to be a sort of an old-fashioned style cocktail, and we're going to get an 1.5 ounces of bourbon whiskey in there. Nice sipping whiskey, good, sweet, made in Kentucky. I'm using the Angel's Envy because truly these gents are the envy of angels. And we're going to get an 1.5 ounces of that in there. 3/4 ounce of sweet vermouth, using our favorite here on Bar Cart Bookshelf, Carpano Antica. It's going to bring some nice spiced notes, some dark fruit notes, sort of aromatized wine. So really, this is in an old-fashioned style, but it sits somewhere between a Manhattan and an old-fashioned in that very classic early 20th century cocktail mode, and rich, dark, heady sorts of stuff. I'm going to get 1/2 ounce of the super, super bitter Amaro Alta Verde. It's nice, it's woodsy, it's bitter and angry and dark. It brings this powerful punch to anything we use it in, and it's really going to add that extra bit of depth, of sort of pininess to our Spar Creek. To add just a touch of sweetness to help balance things out a bit, but keep that darkness going, we're going to add 1/4 ounce of molasses syrup. This is equal parts blackstrap molasses and water, just to make it a little easier to stir and mix into our cocktails. We like to bring that molasses, which is of course already liquid, into an easier to pour and easier to stir format. And then we're going to get a bar spoon of hot chili tincture, because we're bringing the heat. We are bringing the heat, and we want that extra bit of spice, that extra tingle on the tongue that really is in keeping with the spirit of the Woods All Black. And now that we've got all of our ingredients in our old-fashioned glass over our ice, we're going to give that a nice stir just to blend, and say that's delicious. So there you have it. This is the Spar Creek, inspired by the Woods All Black. The Woods All Black is available today. I've got a link to snag the book in the description down below. I have got a link to various forms of social media, including Twitter, Instagram, and Bluesky, where there is always a written version of today's recipe. Try the drink. Let me know what you think. Come to Carmichael's bookstore tonight so that we can talk about the Woods All Black. I am really excited to dig deeper into this novella with Lee Mandelo and see all of you from the Louisville area there. If you can't make it, you know, there are going to be all sorts of tour dates over the next week in various cities around the eastern U.S. And as always, we'll be talking about some great cocktails and mocktails inspired by recent works of speculative fiction here on Bar Cart Bookshelf. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button. It makes me so very happy to see those numbers go up. And until next time, cheers.